All right.
Are we back?
We are.
A little delay. I had a new client sign up. They walked in about 12:30. I'm like, oh boy, oh boy. But hey,
Well,
you got to do what you got to do when my co-partners are in Missouri.
yeah.
Jacqueline's niece Olivia turned 11 a couple of days ago, so they
Oh,
took
that's
her
right.
to the Ozarks in Missouri.
Oh, cool.
I'm sure it's some kind of lake boating, fishing, snorkeling. I don't know what you do, but they're out and
Yeah.
about. So it's all me, baby.
Well, you know what? We've had to cancel a couple of times because you guys routinely put your clients ahead of your marketing or the podcast or things like that. And I don't know, man. I think it's just a testament to um, you guys being who you are and doing what you do. So I
Well,
don't
I
think it's a
appreciate
problem.
the shout out from the
Yeah.
Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson, Jason Crawford, who's back. I guess he's having a better hair day than the last
Yeah.
week when he
I
was
don't know.
Tex-Mex.
We'll
Anyways,
see.
thanks to welcome to another edition of Live Feed
Yeah.
Read. Once again, I'm Paul Reed, your host. It is June the 28th, Friday, a little bit after 1 o'clock. I'm in sunny, actually cloudy Brandon, and
Yay.
Mr. Crawford is in Tallahassee. I'm not sure what the
Yes.
weather is
It
there.
is wet and hot.
Yeah, wet and hot. All right.
That's
All right,
funny.
so let's jump right into it. This one is
Yeah.
a couple of things. I got a public service message. We got a video of a crash
Okay.
outside of our office. And whether or not people know it, July 1st, there are a set of laws that will go into effect. The
Yeah.
legislature goes up on in February, March, April. They do what all they do up there in Tallahassee, and they make the laws, and some of them take effect in July, some of them take effect in October, some
Yep.
of them January 1st. I just picked a few
Yeah.
that take effect in July on July 1st, which is
Okay.
2 or 3 days away. A lot of them, they're really not worth talking about,
Sure.
this and that. But one that's interesting is, which everybody has done it, and I gotta be honest, I was guilty of this probably
Uh-oh.
a couple of weeks ago.
Uh-oh.
Just you get the balloons, the happy birthday balloon,
Oh,
or
yes.
the congratulations balloon, or
Yes.
the what's this one? The reveal
The gender
party.
reveals.
Is it
Right, right,
pink,
right,
blue,
right,
green,
right.
yellow? Whatever. You
Yes.
let them go free, and they go up into the air. And the
Killing poor
problem
turtles.
is, which everybody knew, they got to come down somewhere.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and they really do oftentimes, especially in Florida, they come down in the water,
Right. Yeah.
whether it be a
Yeah.
lake.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
of
they do.
course, if you let a balloon go even in Brandon and the wind's blowing
Yeah.
to the west, it's going to end up in the Gulf of Mexico.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, for
they
sure.
go that far easily. I mean, if you've let a balloon go, you
Oh,
can
yeah.
see them disappear quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so because of that, which I'm okay with this. Um, there's a new law that takes effect July 1st that considers letting balloons go intentionally a littering offense. And I believe
Right.
the fine's $150, and it probably goes up from there if you get caught doing it
So
numerous.
as long as it looks like it's an accident, it's not a
Well, that's the
problem.
kicker. I mean, that's the kicker. And
No, but there are
interestingly
those
enough,
big,
though, it
like, elite
applies
balloons.
to 7-year-olds and older.
So
Now, I don't
no
know
lemonade stands
how do you
and no balloons.
arbitrarily pick seven, but either way, as of July 1st, if you let a balloon go intentionally, and somehow, some way, there happens to be a police officer standing behind you,
Yeah.
well, you could get a ticket.
Can you imagine if you're like absent-minded 7-year-old kid, you're at the state fair, and he just is like, wonder what would happen if I let go of this, and he lets go,
Yeah.
and you're like, Johnny!
Well, Jason, I'm not sure we'd crack our 7-year-old upside the head for letting go of a balloon, but hey, everybody parents differently. I
Well,
would
you're gonna be
say,
arrested for the balloon,
well, remember,
and
there
you for
never have to
smacking
be
your
a
kid.
police officer nearby that sees it. Then the police officer's got to say, "Do I even want to be bothered with this
Oh, yeah.
fair when I'm probably knocking down riots and
Yeah.
stuff?"
No, but I think probably what Gasparilla and the parades and stuff like that are probably
Yeah,
the primary
I'm
targets for
assuming,
these
but
things.
again,
Yeah.
I would be shocked if many people get a ticket for letting go balloons because again,
Right.
the police officer basically has to see you do it and
Yeah.
but that having been said, I actually agree. It is these the fish and the wildlife and the things they swallow it, they get caught
They
up
do.
and
They do.
they probably suffer and die needlessly. So
Hmm.
I'm not opposed to the fine,
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
but for the newspapers and you and I, most people
Yeah.
probably don't won't even know that it's against,
Right.
honestly.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
moving
Yeah.
on. Just
Yeah.
for the sake of society and animals and fishes and so forth, let's not let go any balloons. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on
So
tight.
this one, I'm not a fan of. The
Uh-oh.
next July
Uh-oh.
1st, it says in the
Wait. Can
title,
I try to guess what the subject matter is?
sure,
All right, let's see. Is it social media related?
no.
Okay. All right. Is it
Yeah, keep guessing. Go ahead.
yeah. Is it related to marijuana?
No.
Okay, all right. Hold on. Man, I'm losing here. Is it related to like your business, like personal
No.
injury? Okay, all right. So it's totally off.
It's
Is it
related
related to
to
recreation,
wildlife.
wildlife? Okay. All right, I'm lost then. I don't know. I'm
It's
unaware of this one.
here's
What is it?
the caption is watch out for the bears.
Okay.
And of course,
Okay.
Florida's home to black bears.
Right. Oh,
And
you know what my
unfortunately,
son calls them?
with all the construction going on, new houses, and so if their habitat is being whittled down or
Right.
shrunk, and they're finding their way into your life, into your garages, into your homes, into your garbage,
Got
and
you.
so forth. It's just, that is what it is. So
Okay.
the legislature, in their infinite wisdom, decides to make a law that allows Floridians to basically shoot and kill the bear if a few things occur. One, in self-defense. So if the bear is attacking you, then you could shoot the bear. Now,
Hmm.
the kicker of that is prior to July 1st of coming up, if a bear was attacking you, you could shoot it and kill it anyway.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's common
Yeah.
sense. You were not getting arrested and jailed and fined if a bear is attacking you or a loved one and you've got to shoot it. You just weren't.
Right. Okay.
But this law goes farther. It says, and again, whether this is right or wrong, if it's attacking your pet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little Fido gets loose. Bear's like
Yeah.
nom
I
nom.
guess you can kill the bear if it's attacking your
Mm.
pet. Okay. But
Mm.
here's a kicker. If it's doing substantial damage to your property.
What is that?
Well, there you go.
Now, how do you define substantial damage?
Well, go
Wait,
figure.
aren't bears endangered though? The black bears?
If I know they were, whether they are now, you'd have to Google it. But even if they are, you can shoot them if A,
What?
self-defense, you or
That's
someone else,
wild.
B, an animal, and or C, substantial damage to your property. Here's the problem that I see. First
Okay.
off, let me continue on. So, and this
Okay.
is just a statistic that I got off the internet. I'm not vouching for its veracity, for whether it's accuracy or not,
Okay.
but it's probably close. They said there were 87,000 recorded bear-related reports, phone calls or
In
whatever
Florida?
since 1980.
Okay. I
So
was like,
since
what in the
1980,
world?
they
Last year?
said
Okay.
just over 1,000 of the reports indicated that they were threatened or attacked or injured by the bear. So the
Just over
bear
1,000 in the last 40
87,000,
years.
yeah,
Yeah, in the last 40 years.
yeah,
Just over 1,000. I mean,
that's nothing.
yeah.
And it's probably, my guess is because I actually had someone, this was a grizzly bear out in Washington, had the cubs and they're literally Boy Scouts walked up on it and
Mm,
they all got mauled.
mm,
So the bear,
mm.
especially the black bear, it doesn't come looking for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So of that thousand, what threatened? "Arr!" He growls
yeah,
at you. Attack. So
yeah.
anyway, here's
So,
what I can see happen.
yeah,
And look, I'm a hunter. I haven't done it as much recently just because I'm getting old and it's hot out and on and on and on. Even though hunting season is in the winter, but I just haven't done it as much. So this is not any way, shape, or form anti-hunting, but I can see
right, right.
some Yahoo wanting to blast a bear and just
Oh
saying, "Oh,
man, he was substantial damage in my property.
well, I feared for my life."
Okay, well,
And
yeah,
there's no way to prove it otherwise.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's
that's
interesting.
that's my problem. But
That's sad.
I guess you
That's
could
a
have shot him anyway. But
yeah.
you'd have to have proof that he's attacking you.
That's a potential big sad. You want to hear something
Yeah,
funny
I
though?
agree because anyway,
You want to
I'm
hear
not
something
a fan
funny
of
though?
that one. Regardless, it is now a codified law starting July 1st that you
July
can shoot a
1st.
bear if you feel threatened of
Yikes.
death or serious bodily injury, your property's getting damaged, or little Fido's getting smoked.
Getting smoked.
So
You know what's really funny?
and this one here, now look at this. Boy, has the world come full circle. So you people that are younger, including Jason, probably
You
don't
people.
recall in the 50s, the Red Scare was a big part of politics and in America, the Red Scare being communism.
Right, okay. Okay, okay, okay,
Okay,
okay.
was that was you can Google it. Communism in the 1950s, the
All
FBI,
right.
this that is communism. They're really concerned about that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So then, in my life, in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s,
Then you had the missile
communism was there. It
crisis.
was Russia. It was China. It was
Yeah.
Cuba. There wasn't
Cuba. Yeah.
a big to do about it, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, evidently, the state of Florida, starting I think in 26, because it's going to take them time to implement the curriculum. Every school age child from kindergarten to 12th grade, the curriculum has to include teaching of communism, the good, the bad, and the ugly, so to speak.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised when I was looking up what laws are going to take effect on July 1st that
Yeah.
history of communism teaching requirements is now part of Florida educational.
Why does that surprise you?
I don't know. I'm not. I guess personally, I'm not really concerned that communism is going to take over America. Having said
Mm-hmm.
that, certainly it's possible. I don't do social media. I don't
Yeah.
read all that crap, all the TikTok, all the, I
Yeah.
just don't think in general it's going to take a foothold. There's always going to be groups out there that
I think,
the
yeah, I
Communist
think
Socialist Party of America,
socialism
all of
is
that
more the
crap.
idea. Yeah.
Either way,
Well,
I don't know how you teach a 5-year-old about communism.
I
Hey,
do.
say maybe a class when you're a senior
Yeah.
or junior, some class when you're older. I don't know how you teach a 6-year-old about
You
communism.
hand out a bunch of gummy bears and then you
Well,
start
and to me,
redistributing them.
that's, in my opinion, is just, what are you going to be teaching them? You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you.
Yeah,
I
the
got you.
history of communism or something, fine. Kind of like history class. And if you want to require it,
Right.
fine.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
we had what's called family life. Your senior year, you had to
Mm-hmm.
take a class called family life, and it had to do with basically, once you graduate and moving forward, really, it had a little bit of, sex and how do
Mm-hmm.
you get pregnant? How do you not get pregnant? How do you prevent this? How do you prevent
Yeah. Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
It had to do with writing checks, banking. So it had a little
Yeah.
bit to do with about here.
You're getting into my territory now, man. This is one of the
Here you're going
reasons.
to be an adult, and so here's some
Yep.
things you need to know. And it was just
Right.
it was one semester.
Yeah.
Uh, so if you wanted to do the history of communism, the good, bad, the ugly, that's fine. But from every grade, these kids
Yeah.
have to take it starting in kindergarten.
Right.
Communism, first
Right.
grade, communism, second
Well,
grade, communism.
now
I
you're
mean,
getting into my field, which
yeah,
is the home education rights. And
communism.
No, no, like this is one of our whole things is like we don't really want to be in a system where they're telling you what you have to be learning and the
Oh,
mandated, we call it
well,
mandated curriculum.
your homeschooling may very well blow up,
Yeah, oh it is.
meaning
Dude,
just
did you
more
know
and
that
more and more.
the
Uh,
numbers pre-COVID were about 77,000 in terms of home education students. Post-COVID last year, I think the last numbers were 155,000. So you've literally almost doubled home
yeah, that
education in the
doesn't
last
surprise me.
7 years. Yeah, it's
All right.
wild.
Anyway,
Anyway,
history of communism. Let's move on.
yeah, yeah, all
This
right,
one
fair enough.
was interesting. Have you ever
Okay.
received that jury summons in the mail?
Yeah.
And you say, "Oh my gosh, I don't have time for this."
Yes.
Well, guess what?
Yes.
Here's if you're a new mom with a baby 6 months or less, you're out.
There you go. I
You
think
just
that's
put
good.
on there new mother,
I think that's
and
good.
I'm requesting to be dismissed.
Well, they can't tell me how I identify anyway,
Yeah.
so we're good. That
Well,
covers
and
all of us.
again, I don't know some of these laws. I don't know they needed to be laws. I got news for you. I believe if you
Yeah.
wrote, because you can write on that sheet, which I've done, and send it back
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
say I can't do it because I have a newborn. They would say okay. They'd say, well, if you don't hear from us, I just wrote on there. Look, I have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H depots, mediations, trials. This, that. Never heard from them. And to be honest, I think they blew me right off the list because I've never got a summons again.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's
maybe.
like, okay,
Like,
forget
I don't
him.
know.
Nobody wants him on a
Yeah.
jury anyway.
Yeah. Yeah,
All right.
probably.
And then the
Probably.
last one, which this one is a good law.
Okay, let's hear it
This
finally.
one, I don't know why it has to be a law. Even to me, it's common sense
Uh-oh.
but it has to do with squatters.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so in the
Oh,
state of
dude,
Florida,
I have been seeing videos on YouTube go viral over squatting issues with
well,
like
in other
property
states, I
management
don't
and
know that in
yeah.
Florida it's been a big deal because I'd squat you right out the front door and say, sue me. But
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there because now you can just call the sheriff. And
Okay.
as long as the squatter
As
is
long as
an
it's Grady
individual
Judd.
unlawfully entered or remains in your property, you've asked them to leave, and there's not like a current legal issue going on, you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to evict them and they're saying
Like
you
a
should,
pending legal matter. Yeah.
or look, I've lived here for X amount of years, or it's actually part my home. So basically, if it's a true
Okay.
squatter, the sheriff can say, get out.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good
Again,
law.
not sure why that
That's
even
a
needs to
good
be
law.
law, because first off,
I
if I
agree
come
with you.
home from a vacation and you're in my home, well,
Yeah.
one of us is not going to be happy.
One of us is calling Grady Judd.
Well, one of us is calling the corner. But hey, just kidding, just kidding. All right. So there's that. Oh, all right. So moving on. I don't want to take up all day. We've been here about 15, 20 minutes.
All right, yeah, 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 yeah.
But the final thing is this is a public service message to you individuals that either may be involved in a personal injury claim or you just go to the doctor, hospital, or otherwise and feel the need to tell them things like this.
I don't
History,
know.
history of illicit drug use, acid, cannabis, coke during adolescence and early 20s. I drink alcohol, 5 drinks a day. Okay, that was
Word.
one of the records that I saw. People.
Is this why your sign out front says history explains why we are where we are?
You read that for what it's worth. So, if you're 40 years old or you're 30 years old and you were a big acid head, big coke head, or otherwise, in my opinion, there's no need to tell the medical provider that. Just my opinion. Okay, number two, hold on. Another example under street drugs. Yes, meth 3 to 4 times a week. Used it off and on for 10 years. 20-year history of cocaine use. I take Vicodin without a prescription. I thought about quitting, but if I'm around it, I'm going to do it. So why
You've
bother?
heard these.
I've read them. I've read them.
Around it. Oh my word.
I can tell
Oh
you,
my word.
these are not things you want in your record.
Oh my
for a
word.
number of reasons. Number one, it doesn't help the doctor diagnose you for a broken arm or a broken leg or a
That's
neck
correct.
sprain that you
Yeah.
did acid when you were in your 20s or that you did meth 3 to 4 times a week.
But you know,
Blah, blah,
these
blah.
intake forms are like
But here's your public service. First, it
they're
doesn't help.
long.
Two is if you have ever tried to get health insurance or life insurance,
Good luck
and
now.
they ask for some prior records, and this is in there, guess what you're not getting?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not getting
Wow.
health
Yeah.
insurance, in my
Yeah.
opinion, and you're not getting life
Yeah. In my
insurance,
opinion.
in
That's
my
right. Yeah.
opinion.
Yes.
Okay. So, note to self, you don't have to go in and tell your medical providers that you've done all of these things because they do make it into the record. You're not just jawing with Dr. Johnson. They're writing all this down.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's funny? Along that lines, so they ask, like, what are your pronouns or how do you identify or whatever. And so I was joking, I was irritated, and I, was going in for my thumb to get looked at or whatever. I was just irritated, and I put the mighty one. So I go down a year and a half, almost 2 years later, to get my eyeglass prescription updated, and the woman checking me in goes, "Are you the mighty one?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Let me see that." And I
Yeah.
looked on the screen, and in my medical records now, it says identifies as the mighty one. And I was like, "Why, yes, I am. In fact."
Well, that case in point, and that follows you forever. And in fact, it's funny
Yes.
because Seinfeld did a show on this issue with Elaine, where she had said something, and then
Oh.
none of the other doctors wanted to take her on as a patient because they read the chart and She's like, "Well, I didn't know, you're out."
Yeah. Yeah.
One final thing that we'll talk about on that note is if you do have a personal injury case,
Mm-hmm.
there's no need to tell the medical provider that I'm suing the other party for $10 million. That doesn't help because it
Yeah.
makes it look like you're treating with the doctors and so forth for money.
Right.
I
Yeah.
read that and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This is in a medical
That
note
and the
that I have to
history of
give to the
acid.
defense attorney and the insurance
Right.
company. And you can't
Right.
hide it because they have what's called non-party production. They are going to get it. And I'm like, this is not
Yeah.
helpful. Why would you say such a thing?
Jeez.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
a fan of honesty is the best policy, but not always. And I just
But
gave
keep your
you a
mouth
few
shut.
examples when
say
honesty
say
is not the
less.
best policy.
Yeah, just say less. You don't have to say everything.
Right.
Like,
Tell
I've
the
got a
doctor what
freckle
you're
on my
there
left
for.
butt
My
cheek. Like,
shoulder
no one
hurts
cares.
because I hit a tree or something.
Yeah.
That's what they need to know.
Yeah.
All right.
I used to bite
all
my
right, so
toenails when I was 9. Like, no one cares.
let's wrap this up. We've been going on for
Okay.
25 minutes.
We can skip the video. We'll do that next time.
No,
Then.
so show the video. So the
Oh,
other day, a gentleman comes in and he
yeah.
says, "Hey, I know you have cameras. I was involved in a hit and run. Can you look at the video?"
Right.
I said, "Sure." So Jason, pull up the video. I have
Yeah.
it here on my
Which
phone.
vehicle was he in? Do you know?
Yeah. All right. So
All right, I have it up.
If you
running.
look at it, right outside my window, there are it's Parsons, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
the road in front of my office is Lumsden. So there's cars southbound on Parsons. There's one through lane to go straight and two turning lanes to go, east, right? So if
Okay.
you look at it, you will see a truck that's kind of
Turning toward the office.
no, the truck. Well, watch it. There's a truck in the turning lane.
Yeah, there's two. There's one silver and one dark.
Yes. Well, that
truck.
one, the truck, you see him waiting back as the cars are going because what he doesn't want to wait. If you look at the traffic, it's backed up very far towards 60, towards the hospital. So this guy gets in the turning lane and he's trying to time the light. So when it turns green, he's going to cut in front of the red car and go
Oh.
south on John Moore, and he whacks him. So rewind it and watch it.
Oh, I see it now. I couldn't see because the red car just disappears on the other side
So do you
of
see what I'm
the.
talking about?
I do. Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
here's the
Oh,
deal. Here's what's funny.
yoink.
Watch.
Ooh.
But watch the red car. Watch. He speeds up to cut him off. So he's partially at fault. So watch
Oh.
again, and watch
Yeah.
the red car, see what he's doing, and he punches it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
The
Okay.
red car's like, heck to the no, bro.
Yeah, he goes, "Ooh." Yeah, yeah. Punches up. Okay, so who's at fault? They're both at fault.
Oh, I think, well, certainly the
At fault is not
truck,
an at fault state either.
but
So,
if I'm a defense attorney, I'm putting blame on that red car. I'll say, look,
right. Okay. Yeah, for sure.
you saw what he was doing, right? What he was doing
Yeah.
was wrong. We all agree. But you sped up, and basically you could argue you caused the crash,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. You could.
Well, if you look at it, because when you look at, he disappears past that truck
Yeah.
who's punching it.
Yeah. Right, right, right.
But anyway, not a bad little camera shot out there in front of the office.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, dude. Oh, you know what? That's another thing. Like when you get into a car accident, ask around for the cameras. Like that's
Yeah,
a
exactly.
yeah, we've
Well,
mentioned that
like
before,
I
but
said, I says, dude, you may not want someone to see that camera because it took me about 2 views to say,
yeah.
yeah, dude, you either caused or certainly contributed to this crash because you punched it, so he couldn't because on the just so you know, on the other side is a
Mm-hmm.
through lane and 2 turning lanes. So this truck probably, my guess is, didn't have anywhere to go but cut back over into the through lane, or else he would have head on collision.
Mm.
The cars that are waiting to go left onto
Right.
something or straight.
Right.
So this
Right.
other guy flies up on him rather than letting him
Yeah.
go, and everybody goes home and maybe giving a
Yeah.
horn honk or maybe giving the finger or whatever.
Yeah. Or
But
slow
instead,
down and let that
you
red guy
punched it.
go.
Oh, and by the
Yeah.
way, truck didn't stop. Hit and run. So now your car's messed
Jeez.
up, and there's probably no way to find this truck.
Yeah. Uninsured motorist coverage.
Well, either way, the motto is,
Yeah.
instead you see someone put on the blinker to merge, hey, why don't you not fly up behind the next car?
Yeah.
Why don't you just let them in?
Defensive driving is so important. I was talking with Crystal about that the other day. Some dude, we were getting onto the interstate, and this guy on the right we were coming off, and he just decided to cross right over in front of me, his back tire to my front tire, and wasn't paying attention. Looked like some teenage kid. Just I slammed on the brakes and honked on the horn. Like I probably could have I'm standing here. This is my lane.
Oh,
But I veered off, slammed on the brakes, honked on the horn, and let him go.
right.
I was fuming, bro. I was fuming. But it's one
Yeah,
of those
but
things
again,
where I'd rather not
no
be in an accident. I
property
have
damage,
stuff to
even if
do.
it's not your fault, there's insurance issues, blah. It's just not.
Yeah, right. It's
All
just
right.
not
Well,
worth
it's
it.
we've been
Anyway,
going 30
all right, cool.
minutes.
All right.
It's the 4th of July, just so you
Weekend.
know, TV land. The
Yeah.
4th of July is Thursday. God bless
Thursday.
America.
Yeah,
We're
man.
going to be off on Friday. We're giving the peeps off.
Very
So
good.
we'll not be here next Friday. Jason will put up a little 4th of July happy
Yep.
banners and things.
You got it.
So I hope you guys are off too, that your
Yes.
employers will say, hey, let's take a 4-day weekend. But
Do it.
we're going to do it regardless. So we will not
Cool.
be here July 5th, and we will
Word.
see you whatever that July 5th, July 12th. We'll be back July 12th, God willing.
You got it.
All right,
You got
Jason, take us out.
You got it. Let's go.
Billy.
Read and read. It's like having a lawyer in the family.